Judaism is spirituality to serve God, that we should be a priestly people, and that the whole world has to serve God, and our aspiration is when the whole world will recognize one God, we will all join arms and serve God. If we have to try to convince somebody that they should support us or help us to let's say go up to Palestine or something, then that's false. That's falsifying what Judaism is. That means that it's like a false Messiah.
So that's intervention.
That's what these kids, and that's what eventually we'll talk about. What Zionism does, what they say, oh, we're going up to serve God because God gave us the land. This is phony. This is false. This is misrepresenting Judaism.
Now there was a time, and you were just about to talk about these claims of reform when I interrupted you.
Yes.
There was a time when people like you were the majority of the Jews.
Not only the majority, this was the one type of Judaism. There was no other type of Judaism.
Until when? Until when? Nearly?
Around 250 years ago, when there was, as I say, through the generations, there was somebody came along and said, oh, God spoke to me, and I'm the Messiah who would make miracles, which we believe you can make miracles through evil powers. We know there's an instruction booklets of this, and they came and people believed in them for whatever reasons. It's a whole, each was a subject by itself. The famous one, the most famous one was probably the Shabbat Tzvi. And we always say Shabbat Tzvi, his name should be obliterated. And he pulled in a lot of people after him.
That was roughly around, what, 3 or 4 centuries ago? When was he?
Yeah.
In the 17th century,
exactly,
maybe.
Yeah.
Now, you said, you've just said that about 250 years ago, changes started happening.
Yeah.
What prompted these changes?
Well, there were these people that instead, we believe that, again, the Satan pushed them because they could have just left the Judaism and lived the life that they wanted of materialism.
Many did, by the way, in
many
Europe.
did,
Many
yes.
did. Many converted to Christianity.
Right, but these people...
And probably some Jews in the Muslim lands converted to Islam.
Right, but these people decided that they want to corrupt, let's just say that the entire Jewish people should be transformed into a new type of Judaism, which would be a secularized Judaism. And their claim was that you're not required, you're not to uphold all the 613 commands. You can pick and choose what you want, because Moses, we say dirt to his mouth or something, said that he just created his own book. It wasn't given by God or things like that. So they decided to reform Judaism.
Yeah,
the word reform alone speaks in of itself that it means that they don't believe it's from God.
That's what I want to ask you. I mean, I've read somewhere that actually in the Talmud, it says, and correct me if I'm wrong, that God had taken covenants from the Jewish people not to go to Palestine until the Messiah comes. If that is true, then the Talmud cannot be the justification for Zionism.
100%. Zionism, again, which many people who are looking to vilify Jewish people, either because of what they've seen the actions of Zionism, so they're looking where could that come from, and Zionists themselves are trying to, what they try to is abuse, they take the words of the Torah, and the 5 books of Moses, and especially the Talmud, and they pick out the statements out of context and totally not what it's supposed to be about, and they, in order to legitimize the Torah, we say they hijacked the Star of David and name Israel and all these statements of the Talmud. Ironically, like you're saying, that it's clear that it was actually a prophecy of King Solomon. It's not only from the Talmud; it was a prophecy explained in the Talmud, which the Talmud does, and that we were put under oath by God after we were sent out into exile around 2,000 years ago, that we should not, 3 oaths, we should not go back en masse to the land of Israel. As individuals, we were allowed to live there if it was with the permission of the governing in power, which the Turkish or the ones before there, or the British mandate after. Or today, it should be with the permission of the Palestinian people. But basically, the 3 oaths are not to go back in mass, not to rebel against any nation. We have to be loyal in every country we're living in, and not to try to bring the end of exile in any manner whatsoever. So Zionism flies in the face of all that. But one more thing, Zionism flies in the face of every concept of the Torah. Like I said, the Torah is divided into that how you should treat your fellow human being. You're not allowed to kill, you're not allowed to steal, you're not allowed to oppress. In every facet of Zionism, they contradict the godliness, what the Torah is, and yet they use the identity of the Torah, they wave the Torah as a deed to the land. So it was opposed by every...
So in other words, if I understand you correctly, the Talmud is the basis for your opposition to Zionism,
Exactly.
rather than the basis for justifying Zionism.
Yeah, and you can find that, ironically, many times you can find in history people will take something so totally out of context and use it and abuse things, which in...
Now we have just...
Zionism came along and tried, being that they had, let's say, the control, a lot of control of the media and the sole holding of the microphone in their hands. For over 50 years, they've been bombarding the world with a picture as if the Muslim people and the Arab lands have an ingrained hate to the Jews and that they're inhospitable. When the facts on the ground and history attest to the fact that they were our best friends, they were replaced by the Inquisition, by the Crusades, by World War II, that the Jews found a home and a safe haven in the Muslim lands.